Well, as I say, it's all about pricing, and every sector is very hotly priced. But I mean, logistics, as we all know, has been driven by a lot of JVs, particularly from North America, teaming up with a lot of the European developers, and they're dominating that market. Obviously, there's rumours of Logical that are about to sell out their European platform, having Blackstone already sold out their US platform to GIC. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's very hotly priced. I mean, it's interesting. I've recently been with a couple of large developers, Panattoni and P3, and neither of them have access to the UK market. They're all over Western Europe, Central and Eastern Europe, but they just find the UK is just very hotly priced, and it's difficult to find land. In terms of retail, obviously, it is a sector that's going through more change than any other sector. It is very polarised. I mean, if you have large regional shopping centres that offer a day out, they're a bit more resilient, and I think they're in far more demand by the institutions than others. But it's very patchy. I mean, out-of-town retail in Germany, for example, is having a huge wave of success at the moment. And I'm a big fan of the super prime luxury retail, which will always do well. And I think with the global spending power, particularly with the way that the Asians like to shop, for example, the places like London and Paris are really benefiting.
But the industrial sector is one that's held up in the first half of this year. It's it's had a little decline, but single digits, whereas all the other sectors have been down in terms of activity. But we do see those big platforms being built across Europe. But no, I mean the investors seem to be interested in the same sort of assets they have been for the last few years. One of the things we talked a little bit earlier, it was mentioned about secondary markets versus prime markets. I think ignoring where we are with the Brexit discussion, but we're not at this stage of the cycle. There doesn't seem to have been the sort of wide net thrown across the sort of the secondary and tertiary markets as there was pre the previous cycle. We're still pretty large secondary cities. We're still in the prime markets. So it's not as wide a net has been cast as so far, and I think that's partly driven by the type of capital that's coming in, particularly from Asia, where it's very focused on the major capital cities, and that needs to sort of move a little bit out into the smaller cities to really sort of have a wider opportunity set for those investors.